Today we're going to Japan with ceremonial grade matcha green tea powder. My wife and I honeymooned in Tokyo and the Philippines. Tokyo was off the chart. It's possibly top 5 places I've ever been. Why is Tokyo so special? I mean, Japan as a whole is super special. It's so different to westernized countries. It's ultra busy in Tokyo, but everyone is very respectful. It's quiet, it's calm, it's relaxed, it's clean. It's just an incredible place. But when the night comes and the entire city is filled with neon lights, it blows you away. You've got Godzilla or Gojira on top of a building in Tokyo. Godzilla obviously is a kaiju. I can't recommend Tokyo enough, and we're going back soon to look at and visit old Japan. But when you're there and you do all the typical touristy things that we all do, one of the things is green tea, and matcha is the #1 name in green tea. Green tea is an umbrella term, and then matcha is part of that. There are different grades of matcha powder, and they all are used in different situations. So this one we have here is ceremonial grade. This has come straight from Japan itself. So this is a reasonably good matcha powder. You can spend thousands on matcha powder. Now, it's a delicate flavor. We don't want to turn this into a super fatty ice cream. We're going to turn this into an ultra low fat gelato. We're going down to 6% fat, which is, you know, the lowest recommended fat range for a gelato. In traditional terms, you can go down to 0 fat gelato, but then you're not creating gelato, you're creating something different. That aside, what are we going to need to make our Japanese ceremonial matcha gelato? Well, for this you are going to need 30 grams of organic ceremonial matcha powder, 500 grams of 2% milk, 125 grams of 33% whipping cream, 30 grams of skim milk powder, 120 grams of sugar, and 40 grams of dextrose. We're going to add a stabilizer to this one. A couple of notes: we're using dextrose because it's much less sweet than standard sugar, so we can get more of that matcha flavor to come through. It also helps us adjust the freezing point of this. We're using just enough cream to bring the fat percentage up to 6%. If you don't want to add cream at all, you're going to need to increase your stabilizer amount and potentially add something else. Now, matcha is pretty much all fiber. That is what it is. It's all carbs. There are lots of different carbohydrates out in the world. This is basically a plant that is milled down into this ultra fine powder. Because it's fiber, it can help and boost our overrun levels, which is excellent. But we need to be careful not to overpower the flavor of this with other things. So, less chit chat, let's get on with it. We are simply going to add all our ingredients into the pan. So in goes our 500 grams of 2% milk, our 125 grams of whipping cream, 40 grams of dextrose, 120 grams of sugar. We're going to keep 10 grams back, so let's put 110 grams in. Into that 10 grams, we're going to put in our guar gum. Because it's cold processed, we're not superheating this because you don't want that dairy flavor, or at least overheated dairy flavor, to affect our matcha. So in that goes. And finally, our entire 30 grams of ceremonial matcha powder. You don't have to use ceremonial matcha powder. Where are the scissors? You can use any matcha powder. You can use the cheapest matcha powder you can find on Amazon. That is fine. Like that. Lovely little tin. Gonna keep that. So we've got everything apart from our skim milk powder in here, which is 30 grams. like that. And we are just going to gently warm this up on the hob to make sure all of our ingredients are dissolved and emulsified together to create a lovely homogeneous blend of matcha deliciousness. As you start to heat the base up, it will become super intense green as it all starts to dissolve together. We're going to bring this up just to steam point, so somewhere around 55, 60 degrees centigrade, and then we'll take it off the heat. Right, we've just gone up to 60 centigrade. Don't need to go any higher. Guar gum is a cold process stabilizer, so we don't need to go super high. We are going to put this in a container and let it cool down. Couple of notes: super intense green color from the matcha. Matcha powder is designed to be sieved, so it goes through a fine sieve. We're going to sieve this after it cools down to take out any impurities. We want this super clean, super smooth. So chill it down in the fridge. If you can do it overnight or even 24 hours, even better, because that will boost that flavor within the dairy, and that's exactly what we want. So I will come back when this is completely chilled down. Right, it's been in the fridge for a couple of days. We're going to run this through a sieve and get this as smooth as we can. Let's have a look. Yeah, nice. That's exactly what I want. I'm not going to push those little bits through. I'm just going to leave them in there. Be chilling. Let's get this in the machine and get it churning. Something we want to try and achieve with this is a large amount of overrun, because the flavor is pretty bold and punchy. There's a lot of matcha powder, 30 grams in this mix, so we want as much overrun as we can sensibly get in a home machine. Because matcha is just fiber, I'm hoping that we can achieve a fair amount. So let's get this churning, and I'm going to tidy up. Let's try something new, shall we? Straight out of the machine, super strong flavor, matcha. Most matcha ice creams or gelatos are so weak in flavor that they're kind of akin to a matcha latte kind of flavor, which defeats the point of matcha itself, which is super strong in taste. We went to quite a few different sushi restaurants in Tokyo, and you get matcha on the side where you're sat. Generally it's free, and I mean, it's not super high quality, but it doesn't make any difference. It's the taste. There's hot water on tap, you take your spoonful of matcha powder, put it in the little cup that is supplied for you, and make it up there, and then super strong. There's no inclusion of milk. It's a green tea, so it's, you know, supposed to be had just with water, but drink it how you like. But what we've done here, I had to make an adjustment. This is actually my second batch. First batch didn't get basically any overrun, and that is the fiber content. I think this is the fiber content combined with the other ingredients made it too thick, made it too viscous to churn and get the correct amount of overrun. So I've redone the recipe. I will put in the description the actual new recipe. It's basically the same, but has more milk. But what we've got here is a super intense matcha ice cream. Ultra smooth. You get nothing but matcha flavor through there. Super, super nice. The cream helps to smooth that bitterness of matcha out. It can be quite bitter, and the stronger you get, the worse it gets. Super delicious. Really, really nice. Such a strong flavor, you don't need a full scoop. We had the quenelle there. That's a perfect serving size for this because it's such an intense flavor. So if you want to make this amazing matcha gelato, follow the recipe in the description, not the one at the early part of the video. I'll probably change the one in the video as well, because I don't want you to get this wrong. And smaller portion size after a big heavy meal. You're gonna love this one if you like green tea. If you don't, give it a try. You never know whether you're gonna like something new or not unless you try it. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Next week we've got Ninja Creamy Coffee Special. And after that I'm doing malted mini egg ice cream, just like a Calgary ice creamery that we frequent sometimes. So if you don't want to miss out, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all of that kind of jazz, and I'll see you next time.